Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we've got your indie games covered. One of the things most people who've spent any amount of time playing indie games have already noticed is that their creators and developers aren't really limited by some of the normal conventions of the larger AAA games. They can explore their own ideas and use their games to tell their own stories. And while I always prefer a unique game, and I definitely like to see where a developer's going and what they're thinking through their development, the new game called Drowning by Sometimes You may have gone off the deep end. Releasing on the Switch as well as other consoles January 30th of 2018, the game's description on the eShop really does tell you just about everything you could possibly know about the game. As a walking simulation, quite literally in the purest sense of the word, you'll progress down a linear path as you learn about a boy's struggle with depression through his high school years. Although the heavy use of personification and illusion throughout the story's text works to mask the boy's metaphoric relationship with depression as an actual relationship with a very toxic and vindictive counterpart that seeks to ruin his life. However, as stated earlier, there's really not much to the game if you can actually even call it a game. It is quite literally a walking simulation. You simulate walking as you read the text as it pops up through the screen. That being said though, there are a few other aspects to the game that just seem a little odd and I'm not quite sure what they're for. And one of these, strangely enough, being multiple endings. In the description of Drowning on the eShop, it does say that there are multiple hidden endings. However, if you actually play through the game at length, you'll discover, like most games with multiple endings, there's only one best ending. However, this best ending is the only one where the character you're playing as manages to not commit suicide. And the other thing I found strange is that there are a couple of collectible items in the game, though I have no idea what they're for because they don't seem to have any impact on the story. And playing through the game multiple times back to back, regardless of which ending or what items I seem to have collected, I'm not really sure if anything impacted the outcome of the story other than giving the player a bit of a sense of confusion. And the real terrible part about this, especially about having to review a game like this, is that I do see the importance and the explicit value of a story like this coming through a game. It is a way to spread the word that children do deal with depression and how serious it can be. And the way it's brought forward in the gameplay does help anyone who's not exactly familiar with depressive states to become a bit aware of the struggle and maybe even some of the signs of someone that might be suffering through depression. So in that sense, it's actually really hard to critique this game because of the implicit value of the message. However, as far as a game is concerned, the graphics are incredibly lackluster and are constantly rendering as you play through, which is strange because there's no way that these graphics could possibly put a load on the CPU of the Switch or any other console the game comes out on. Likewise, the music is fairly benign and lackluster, and the seemingly spontaneous load screens in the middle of the story really do disjoint you from any sort of immersive experience. So all in all, having played through the game multiple times and having really tried to invest myself in it to get as much as I could from this game, I really don't think they should be charging the game unless the purchase price is going toward a charity as a social awareness piece. Also, as this game is being brought forth as a very emotional but open and sincere piece about childhood struggles, I think that it should definitely be known that this game is not appropriate for young children. Not only is there a wealth of text and not much to do other than read it, the themes in the game are incredibly mature and deal with the certain content, such as depression and suicide, that a parent should definitely be aware of. But anyway, that about does wrap up the review of Drowning, to be released January 30th on the Switch, so if you enjoyed the review or found it helpful, feel free to throw me a like or a comment to show your support, and don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. There are new and unique indies coming out literally every day, so there's always going to be something new to find right here. And if you want a hint at what games are going to be reviewed next, feel free to follow us on Twitter. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.